So welcome to my journey from startup to profitability in 100 days or ideally less. As you can see, I'm actually here on the newsletter that this content will be part of. So I wanted to just talk about the highs and the lows and the challenges of running a newsletter on LinkedIn and just discuss some potential kind of alternatives. So we're over halfway through this challenge, so over day 50, not sure exact number of when this will go out, but so one of the pluses is that we've got 1,753 subscribers on here and 52 in the last week. So if you look at the numbers, they look quite impressive. 2,400 views of the articles, up from last week. Number of subscriptions are up this particular week, engagement, etc. All those numbers look quite good. The downside of this is that this newsletter on LinkedIn is very, very clunky for a number of reasons. Number one, it's almost impossible to kind of look and view them sequentially and see them in the order that they were published. So that's a challenge. Secondly, LinkedIn does not give a lot of love to articles that are posted. It's quite funny that they say, that if you post more than twice a week, you get much more traction, blah, 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 blah. We're posting 5 times a week, and I'm not sure it's because it's an article, but it's just not getting a lot of impressions compared to just a regular post. So, for example, I posted on the weekend just some musings and sharing the weekly roundup, which isn't part of the newsletter content, and that got far more impressions than this newsletter, even though I've got 1,700 subscribers and I've got 25,000 connections on LinkedIn. So effectively what you're doing is that you are creating content on property you don't own. So there is inherent risk in building up a continued newsletter on a platform that you can't control. So one of the ways around that is to either repurpose this content. So I'm thinking at the end of this, I'm not really sure until it's finished, is that how do I both repurpose the newsletter and the content? One of the ideas is to potentially change the newsletter to a weekly one and just give continued kind of updates on the business and ideas and things that I'm implementing. The other is to create all of this content and wrap it up into some kind of maybe short little program for startups to help them to do that. Could put it into LMS, or I could put it into a number of blog posts. And again, the blog post would be on my website, which means it's on property that ostensibly I own versus LinkedIn, where I have very little control over that. So one of the things that we created this week was we created a email out, an EDM, to the people that have sort of come into my ecosystem in those first 50, 60 days. And this was for a candidate that one of my clients wanted to hire, but he just came second. They couldn't hire 2, so then he hired 1. So what I did is I created a email out to the database that I have. It's not particularly big at the moment, but tends to grow. So I've got some basic information there, which the team created. And then what we did is we put this into this quite interesting little flip book, which I thought was quite creative. So this is his portfolio. It's worked with some fantastic brands, including Seek here in Australia, and the equivalent of which is Job Street. So that was just a nice little creativity on top of this email that went out, and then a testimonial that we had, watch it in full. So this is a different way of communicating to your database that you can have far more control over versus the LinkedIn newsletter. So I hope you found this useful. I wanted to just give you an insight in the pros and the cons of creating a newsletter on LinkedIn and some alternative thinking about how you can use the content and where you should potentially be creating your content. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.